Hey, you guys, and welcome to American Culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff to share the positive energy. With that being said, I hope this isn't like a mishmash of a lot of things, but boy, a lot of things have happened in the past 48 hours. So I made a video last week about how this Tuesday, the 9th, was like the day that wealth arrives. And a lot of people think that wealth is money, and so did I. And it was like, do I need to go buy a Powerball? No, spoiler alert, didn't win. Oops. But God started talking to me. Like, that was the clearest day I've ever had. And he told me that I needed to go to the convenience store. Like I said, I thought he was trying to get me to buy a lottery ticket, but he said only in the morning. He told me that on Monday, and obviously Tuesday I didn't wake up on time in order to be able to do that. And I had this, intuitive feeling that it just wasn't going to work out. There was a part of me that was like, dang, I should have won the lottery, but I didn't because I didn't obey. But God was just like, no, you really need to be able to go and do it in the morning. So I set my alarm clock to get up early Wednesday and go down, take the dog for the walk to the convenience store. But of course, having been up all night long, for no reason, you guys, I couldn't, but the alarm woke me up, and then I went back to sleep, and I had the most vivid dream I've had in years. I mean, what happened was I was in my house, as you guys can clearly see. Well, you can't, but for the most part, anybody who's been following knows that my house is rather colorful, and so am I. But I was in this like white room, and I knew it was my house, and I'm just tearing everything apart. But the funny thing is, when I pull stuff open, I see it, but when I dump it out, I'm not exactly making a mess. I'm not even stressed out. And I'm doing all of this is because I'm looking for my state ID, because I'm getting ready to go to the foreign lands back overseas. Now, I've traveled the world, and I know that I don't need that state ID. I know I just need a passport, but why in the world am I just looking for this? Finally, I decide I'm just going to go ahead and go. I look around, there's really no mess, although things are kind of disheveled, and I wake up. And I'm like, what was that all about? Long story short, the interpretation that I get from that is that I'm still looking for parts of my identity that don't exist. Like, the old version of me she's not here anymore. She can't even go on the trip, and she's not even needed to go on for the rest of my life. It's time to quit, pulling things through and trying to find her so I could take her with me. And then God told me to go find my passport, which I do have right here. And so I did. And he was like, there's money in the passport. And I said, oh, okay. And I looked through first like this, and there's no money. But then guess what, you guys? There's a dollar. Like I said, I was thinking that the whole wealth that was going to arrive was going to be money, but God has a sense of humor. And when I pulled it out, it was this side purse. Now, notice that it says States of AME, and see the one on one. States of AME. AME, ame, is soul in French. So I started to say, well, what does that mean in a different language? State of my soul is that in God I trust, and I'm in a one-to-one relationship with him. Then he said, turn it over. So I did. It says S of America, serve no of America. And then he had me add all these numbers together, and all of those numbers equal 36. And you guys can Google angel number 36, and it says a whole bunch of stuff, but it says this is for you to be able to be of service and serve your divine purpose. So God was letting me know, like, you're not wrong about this. You're going to the foreign lands. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. I am going to start to compensate you for doing this. And he told me to put out the YouTube videos, watch some other ones where they talk about how to be a proper YouTuber. I guess that's what I became. Who would have thought? It's so weird. Anybody who knows me knows I'm quite reclusive. It could just be me and my dog, and I would be all right with that. And so the fact that he's like, this is the way to go about it, because I'm not doing TikTok, I'm not doing Instagram, I'm not going to negotiate that. I can't. And so he was like, do the YouTube, put a GoFundMe link on there, do a Give, Send, Go, do the Cash App. I went ahead and made the business Cash App, did all this stuff. He said, you're just basically opening up the avenues, all right? And from here on out, if I post something, it has to come with a professional description and at least 1 to 2 of those links in there. He's not making me be like 100% professionalized right now, but he is making me understand that I am a professional at this. And I think that it was 444 when I said that. I think that anybody who's watching this, he's called you into doing the same thing. He's called you out of obscurity into your professionalism. And there's just little things that you have to do. Now, granted, you don't have to compare and contrast your situation to other people and try to chase out there, because again, you're in a one-on-one relationship with the Lord. And it's just been really interesting because I finally, and he told me to put my book out there. So I'm writing a book and I'm reading a chapter. I'm writing a book and I'm reading a chapter. And then yesterday I was so tired, after all of that. I was tired. I don't know why. It was just this, I guess because I had finally accepted like rest, So when you do that, you allow your body to feel what your body feels. I had a lot of inspiration, but God said, don't put anything out until the chapter uploads. And I'm telling you, normally these videos on YouTube, they kind of upload rather quickly. That took full 12 hours. Like if you go to where I said chapter 1, that's why I wrote that note in there at the bottom. It took me 12 hours for this to upload. So it was literally all day. By the time it finally uploaded, it was 9 o'clock at night. So I was like, let me go to sleep. I set the alarm so that I could get up again today at 7 o'clock, because I got to go walk down there. And God said, Alicia, you got to be there before 8 o'clock. So I'm thinking, maybe he wants me to win the lottery. I got a scratch off ticket worth $2. Let me go ahead and turn it in. And I go down to the thing, and I pick up a $10 bill and I put it in my bag. I don't need cash, remember, because I already have like a $2 scratch off that I'm just going to exchange for another $2 ticket. And I get my breakfast. I'm going to use my debit card. I'm going to use the phone. And I get to the cashier and the lady's like, oh, well, you have to pay for all of it with cash. I guess she had rung it up wrong and she couldn't undo the sale like that. And so I said, oh, I have enough cash. Let me pull this out. I thought she was just going to take out the $2 for the card, or, the thing that I had won, even though I had already exchanged it. I don't know what I was thinking. But she handed me back a nickel. And so I walk out, and then God says, go back in there and tell her that's what she's doing. And I'm telling you now, that's what you're doing. He has given you enough to do what you're supposed to do, but you're saying that you need more. You're living too far in the future. That's not where his grace and his goodness is. It's right now. And I went back in there and I said, that's what he's telling me. And I told her it's going to be like $400 or something. She went, I guess it's the number that's like her thing. And you need to just spend it. And some of you guys, you're not being reckless. You're not being an idiot. I mean, I remember just a couple weeks ago, I wouldn't look this fabulous right now if just a few weeks ago God hadn't told me, Alicia, go get your nails done. I hadn't done something like that, and I don't know how long. I'd bought all the stuff to be able to do it in the house, trying to be cheap. For what reason? I have no clue. And I finally went out there, and it just made me feel very bonita. And so I was like, you know what? I need more of that in my life. And that's what kind of opened me up to this. I was like, I am a delicate flower blooming in the springtime, ready to go, show myself out to the world. And it's really what catalyzed that. So there's something that somebody's got going on out there where God's been telling you to do something. It might seem like it's vain. It's not. It might seem like it's stupid. It's just not. And he will not only supply the resources, but cover, it will not be like you missed it. You remember the Lord, Paul, stop it. You waterholic. He's over there just getting drunk because his mom's distracted and talking. I can go ahead and get water drunk. He just went outside and peed. He's going to want to do it again. Get over here. No, he's like, look at him. He won't come. He won't. Come here, Paul. Come here. We matched today. Look at him. He's coughing because he drank too much. He's coughing because he drank too much. With that being said, I think that whatever it is, go ahead and go buy. Oh, and I was like, well, what would you be doing at 8 o'clock? Because it was like 7:50 by the time this is all happening. She says, oh, I get off and I go to do stocking at 8 o'clock in the morning. So she wouldn't have been at the register. That's why I'm saying, you guys, your wealth is not necessarily the money. You wanted to have ordered steps. You wanted God to tell you what to do, where to go, how to do it, the whole 9 yards. You wanted the dreams. You wanted the vision. At what point are you going to acknowledge that you have them and that you can actually walk out the life that stuff creates for you? So yeah, the wealth is here. I am going to put the link to my Cash App and GoFundMe in the description. I'm going to make a description. I'm going to have the hashtags. I'm going to be the official one that God wants me to be. And I'm going to go from there. I have chapter 2 to read. Hopefully it don't take all day to post. I don't think it will. I think that was God, but I'm so present now that I can really see his movement in every way, shape, and form in my life, especially when it comes to this. That whole passport thing, that dream, it was interesting. He was like, that old stuff, a lot of times we think that the past, the history of what we've been doing, that's we keep closed and in a drawer, is going to come back to get us. But he's like, no, it's just you that knows that. It's not going to taint your environment. It's just nothing is. You're safe. You're secure. I don't know who needs to hear that and know that. But you do have to leave this behind. The house can't come with you. The stuff, that old identity. I don't need a state ID in the Middle East, you guys. I need a passport, and I've got that. So you have everything that you need to get started. Nobody is lying to you when they say stuff like that, but it's up to you to believe it and actually walk on that. So yeah, my wealth did arrive on the night. I did start getting very crucial pivotive messages from God, step-by-step directions, and actually doing it. Right now they're talking about going on a cruise, and I think that I will do that. I think that I am. I'm going to take a cruise. Hopefully. You know what? We'll save that dream for later. Have a blessed day, you guys.